the dark side of AI. There's a lot of concerns, right? There might be machine taking over.
You are not competing with AI. You are competing with someone who knows how to use AI better than you.
People have made AI influencers as well. So AI बनाए हुए influencers हैं आप, मतलब AI एक next level पे जाने लगी है.
The AI has no limit in thinking. ठीक है? It will think everything. The magic of AI is in its uniqueness, but the magic of humans is in their real uniqueness. The people who can understand how to use AI have an exceptionally a lot of opportunity ahead. जब आपके पास time नहीं है, तो how can you do anything?
Exactly.
You're a machine.
Yes.
And to beat the machines, you have to have thinking. And to have thinking, you need time.
What would be that one belief जिसको आपने बदला और बहुत कुछ बदल गया? अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी, वेलकम टू लोकल टॉक्स. आज हमारे गेस्ट हैं जी हाशिम सैयद. हाशिम इज़ लुकिंग आफ्टर गो टू मार्केट फॉर जेमिनाई. सो दैट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग फील्ड पाकिस्तान में, क्योंकि हम सब AI को यूज़ करना शुरू हो ही चुके हैं तकरीबन. तो हाशिम, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कमिंग.
नहीं, thank you. Honored to be here. Really excited.
Gemini से याद है, आजकल Gemini में पिक्चर्स बहुत बन रही हैं. हर बंदा Gemini में कभी कोई किसी कंट्री में गया हुआ, कभी किसी कंट्री में गया हुआ, और हर बंदा एक दूसरे की इमेजेस बनाने लग गया. तो क्या बेसिकली Gemini का कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है और क्या समझते हैं इसका फ्यूचर क्या है? और अब तो आपको AI के बारे में पता होगा.
Pictures का, yeah, what you should really try is if you try the black and white thing. So if you upload a black and white photo into Gemini and you say colorize and restore this photo, it colorizes that photo.
Nice.
So आजकल I'm, जब सारे बड़े हैं ना, I'm working, helping them basically take their old pictures, colorizing them, and it brings a life into a memory that you never saw. फिर लोग कहते हैं, I think he was wearing a black shirt, a blue shirt, जो भी. तो it's very exciting time उसका.
जब हम Gemini की go to market की बात करते हैं, तो what exactly do you do for somebody who's watching you? Just to start off with, कि आप exactly, so for example आप पाकिस्तान आए हैं, तो पाकिस्तान में आप कर क्या रहे हैं?
So I lead go to market for Gemini, basically, so Google Cloud. So I'm based in New York, so I work with our researchers and scientists from the Google DeepMind side, our AI research lab, who are all in San Francisco and Silicon Valley. And then I basically work with startups and CEOs and CTOs for seed to Series A companies across the US and help them build their companies using Gemini. So it could be anything from fintech to edtech to health tech, vibe coding, jo bhi. And aajkal I'm in Pakistan basically because, I'm Pakistani. I love this country. I think we have immense opportunity. So I've been leading an AI fellowship. So working with the top 100 companies here in Pakistan and helping them develop real AI solutions for their businesses and for their customers. Then I'm also helping a Gemini education academy, right? So we're working with like teachers, universities, students, etc., looking at how can they use AI in their day-to-day.
सर अभी तक ना हमारी ऑडियंस में इस सब चीज़ों से बड़ी कंफ्यूज हो गई. सिंपल अल्फाजों में बताएं ऑडियंस को आसान करके कि यार ये चीज़ है और इस तरीके से होती है और ये होता है, वरना ऑडियंस के ऊपर से गुजर जानी, उनको समझ नहीं आनी, यहाँ तक छोड़ के चले जाए.
So yeah, basically I help companies use Gemini.
अच्छा.
So जब हम कंपनीज को Gemini यूज़ कराने की बात कर रहे हैं, एक तो ये है कि हमें एडॉप्शन चाहिए. चैट GPT की सॉर्ट ऑफ वर्ड ऑफ माउथ ज़्यादा है. एवरीबडी नोज अबाउट चैट GPT मोर, राइट? व्हाट इज़ दैट वन थिंग दैट यू आर ट्राइंग कि बस चैट GPT को कम्पीट करना है और चैट GPT के बजाय मेरा Gemini यूज़ कर लो, या is there something more to that I should know?
I think product तो बहुत अच्छा हो गया, right? तो Gemini is like a PhD in your pocket. तो लोग खुद अब यूज़ कर रहे हैं. जैसे आपने बात पहले बोली थी, for the images. It's fun.
Yeah.
That image nano banana model, text to image model, that took Gemini to be the most downloaded app in the US.
हम तो अपनी वीडियो एडिटिंग में भी VO3 को यूज़ कर रहे हैं.
Amazing.
और VO3 के थ्रू जो एडिटिंग्स हो रही है वो बहुत ज़्यादा हमारे लिए बड़ी बेनिफिशियल.
बहुत अच्छा.
आई थिंक जो इमेज और वीडियो वाला जो टूल है गूगल का, वो मोर बेटर देन चैट GPT.
और ये आप ये भी देखिए, like लोग खुद they use what they like and what they get access out of. तो एक तो है Anthropic's Claude model is loved by software engineers for coding.
Yeah.
Gemini, you've seen a massive adoption aajkal from everyday users. But a lot of startups, enterprise use it because of the cloud security, enterprise systems, the connectivity. So the models are growing. But जो लोग उसके ऊपर बना रहे हैं, that's like where the real excitement lies.
And what do you think, जिस तरह अभी आपने बताया कि different models हैं, क्लाउड को different purpose के लिए use किया जा रहा है. What's the positioning of Gemini? Is it for corporates? And if it is for corporates, how do you position it for corporates? What's different that they get from Gemini?
I think हमारी model के अंदर with Gemini, right, multimodality is key. So the model is very exceptional at understanding text, images, video, audio, everything, input and output. So it's truly multimodal in nature. Second thing is that it's fully integrated tech stack, right? So from whether you're a coder in anti-gravity, building in your own IDE, building code, or you're a marketing manager using Nano Banana VO3, and you need to translate to 120 languages. So you have the full enterprise use case. And the third thing is that, you're using a model that has very deep thinking and reasoning capabilities. So that PhD in your pocket is very powerful because you effectively, जब आप prompt करते हैं, you're using all of the data that's been used on Google search. So you have an exceptionally higher quality of accuracy. So just everyday consumers, but also, businesses, enterprises and startups are using, they need that accuracy. You can't be, using a model.
अच्छा आजकल बड़ा important चीज़ है, लोग बड़ा कहने लग गए हैं कि prompt engineering की नई फील्ड आ गई है मार्केट में. इसका क्या फ्यूचर है prompt engineering का और क्या वाकई इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस है within the AI?
आप इसकी एक और चीज़ देखें, right? So there's a lot of talk on job losses and job displacement, and humans are adapting. Agentic AI has grown 1,000% year over year in kind of job growth and job postings, right? And job growth. And what that means is that the people who can understand how to use AI, build AI agents, manage AI agents, deploy AI agents, have an exceptionally, a lot of opportunity ahead. So इसलिए I think that, this is a really growing market for people to think about and how they're working with AI.
So AI से बेसिकली हेल्प हुई है, प्रोडक्टिविटी इंक्रीज हुई है. अगर एक डिज़ाइनर था जो पूरे दिन में एक डिज़ाइन बनाता था, अब वो AI की हेल्प से 3 डिज़ाइन बना सकता है. तो दैट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट कि जो फील्ड है उसमें इंसान ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा काम कर रहा है. बहुत लोग कहते हैं कि AI जॉब को बेसिकली वो आपको एडवांस कर रहा है. अगर आप चेंज नहीं होंगे तो वो आपकी जॉब को खा जाएगा. अगर आप उसको अडॉप्ट करने लग जाएंगे तो आई थिंक ग्रो करेंगे.
लेकिन वो खत्म हो गया, राइट? लाइक वी हैव नाउ रीच्ड द लिमिट ऑफ, जैसे आप कह रहे थे चैट जीपीटी, लाइक चैट टू ऐड, लाइक चैट फंक्शनैलिटी, लाइक एनीबॉडी कैन नाउ गो इनटू एन AI model and ask a question.
Yeah.
The next wave is what do you want, what do you do with it, and second, what agents can you build and deploy with it. So now just as you have an AI agent is basically a virtual coworker. आप सोचो like it's somebody helping you, working with you, in parallel and doing the things that you maybe hate doing or need help with doing.
Yes.
So the same way that managers of today have to manage a team of human employees, the real leaders of tomorrow will be able to manage AI agents and a team of AI agents.
Yes.
You could be a bank manager with different agents for credit drafting, credit memos, researching.
Analytics, you name it. You can do everything from there.
और उसमें I think perplexity has sort of grabbed a lot of market out of it, right? Penetration शायद इसकी थोड़ी high है with their Comet engine as well and the way they have integrated, और वो भी I think similarly ही corporates को भी reach out कर रहे हैं, right?
Correct.
और आप लोगों के मॉडल में when we talk about AI, there is an inevitable question, the elephant in the room. The dark side of AI, like हमारा data इतना ज़्यादा इकट्ठा हो रहा है and stuff like that, and also कि जो energy consumption इतनी ज़्यादा हो रही है, और that is another side of it. So there's a lot of concerns, right? कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि जब calculators आए थे तो लोगों ने कैलकुलेटर पे इतनी ज़्यादा रिलाई करना शुरू कर दी कि दिमाग के वो जो एनालिटिकल सेल्स थे उनको यूज़ करना ही कम कर दिया. Right, we started outsourcing memory, outsourcing calculations, and now we are talking about outsourcing maybe reasoning as well. So where do you see that dark side of it?
I disagree. Just like when if you think about it, right, when the sewing machine was invented, not everybody became a person who likes to sew. Right, but even now, with the technology, it started. It's here. So I like to think that you have to focus on what can you do with it, and how can you stay competitive. So the same way that if you think of the if the US is in its scale and efficiency era, Pakistan is in its AI frontier moment. $3 billion being generated from IT exports. You have software houses in Pakistan now rebranding to AI companies. That's so exciting. And I think that's great. Behind every global brand, koi Pakistani hai. So this is an exceptional moment for us. You know, we are like, there are literally Pakistanis I've met who are fine-tuning and training models for US brands, Middle East brands, Chinese brands, whatever. So there's a lot of potential for both us and for people here.
But again, सारा कुछ cloud में पड़ा हुआ है and all the data is there. So you see the skepticism is there. और फिर वो movies वाला skepticism कि there might be machine taking over.
एक मूवी भी थी, देखी थी एट द एंड, इतनी AI स्ट्रांग हो गई, ईगल आई आई थिंक या कुछ इस तरह की थी. उसमें ये था कि AI इतनी स्ट्रांग हो गई एट द एंड, वो अपनी डिसीजन मेकिंग खुद करने लगी और वो खुद ही आइडेंटिफाई करने लगी कि ये ह्यूमन बेहतर है इस कंट्री के लिए या नहीं, और जो नहीं था उसको पूरा सिस्टम कंट्रोल था. मतलब बहुत पुरानी मूवी बट बड़ा इंटाइसिंग था. एट द एंड जाके उसको AI इंजन ही बंद कर रहा.
So do you see that sort of a concern?
Hey, I mean, possibly, yeah, है ना, like we're all humans, लेकिन you know, technology तो है और लोग use कर रहे हैं. So I say that you are not competing with AI, you are competing with someone who knows how to use AI better than you. So you have to make a choice, right? Everybody has a responsibility. Every human, every government, business has responsibility to show governance and transparency. जैसे आप images बनाते हो nano banana से from Gemini, वो उसका logo भी है. There's a nano banana logo, a Gemini logo in that. You know, the watermark indemnification is also there for transparency to say that this image is made with AI. You know, then you have other social media platforms coming out with AI feeds. So, you know, they're building that transparency. लेकिन लोगों के लिए the most important thing is people are using it. So we also have to start using it. Because
so people have made AI influencers as well. So AI बनाए हुए influencers हैं. आप ये इतना रियलिटी के करीब है कि आप नहीं कर सकते जज के यार ये रियल इन्फ्लुएंसर है. ये लोग वीडियोस बना रहे हैं, अपने फेसेस को यूज़ कर रहे हैं. मतलब AI एक नेक्स्ट लेवल पे जाने लगी है. बट आई थिंक पॉजिटिव हर रिस्पेक्ट का. तो जब इंटरनेट लॉन्च हुआ उसका पॉजिटिव भी था, नेगेटिव भी था. AI लॉन्च हुआ, पॉजिटिव भी है, नेगेटिव भी है. तो आई थिंक ये हमेशा आता है. इट्स अबाउट द माइंड सेट कि आप उसको कैसे करते हो. कि अगर पॉजिटिव करोगे तो आपके लिए पॉजिटिव एनर्जी ऐड करेगा, नेगेटिव करोगे तो एंडलेस वर्ल्ड है, हर चीज़ में नेगेटिविटी शेयर. अच्छा, यू स्टार्टेड योर जॉब इन गूगल. आपका स्टार्ट कहाँ से हुआ था? एकदम आपने स्टडीज कंप्लीट करने में गूगल चले गए थे या कुछ और भी किया?
नहीं, so I was born in London. I grew up there. I've also lived in the Netherlands, and then I studied politics, philosophy, economics. So I didn't study computer science or software engineering. I studied politics, philosophy, economics, PPE, because I'm curious about the world. Just हम questions पूछ रहे हैं like future क्या है, what's the future of AI? What will happen to humans and all this? These are the types of questions that spark, that I was interested in, like politics, economics, and philosophy. But my first job was washing cars. I just on the street, I would knock people's doors and say I would like to wash cars. Then when I was at university, one of the biggest problems that students face is trying to get a job. वो लोग कहते हैं आपके पास एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए, पर मैं सोचता हूँ आई एम अप्लाइंग बिकॉज आई नीड एक्सपीरियंस, राइट? दैट्स द होल पॉइंट. तो देन आई स्टार्टेड माय ओन कंसल्टेंसी. तो आई स्टार्टेड अ कंसल्टेंसी. वी डिड मार्केटिंग, टेक, data analysis, research projects for charities, startups, and businesses in the UK. उस वक्त we managed to bring on one of the UK's largest train companies as our client. Other say I learned how to do Facebook marketing. I was doing that Facebook advertising, Facebook marketing. And from there, I was like, okay, there's an industry here. And that's when I applied to Facebook. So my first job, corporate kind of style job, was at Facebook. So I was running a startup program there. And then I was at Microsoft. Then I was at Google, started a few companies there. So learning.
इतनी बड़ी-बड़ी कंपनीज में काम किया है. क्या लर्निंग, क्या कल्चर डिफरेंट है? फेसबुक, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, गूगल, सारे मजे की कंपनीज हैं, क्योंकि लोग तो ड्रीम करते हैं इन कंपनीज में जॉब करने का. तो आपको क्या फील होता है? What's the major difference in all?
Major difference, I think, also with Facebook, before it became Meta, was move fast, break things. I was fresh out of university, and people expect that everything is laid out for you. You'll be told what to do. It doesn't work like that. The real world is very different. You have to make your own path. And that time I was told, go work with these enterprise companies. I was like, no, I want to work with startups. So I built my own program. I literally went on LinkedIn. I messaged like 30 venture capitalists in the UK and said, hey, I work at Facebook. I'm looking to start a program to help venture capitalists and startups accelerate. Are you interested? Or say I got like half replies. Then I started to work with them, help them on the advertising. उससे program बन गया, right? And that became a multi-million-dollar business for Meta and for Facebook. The same with Microsoft. Microsoft I joined because I was literally brought in as one of the youngest client partner leads to help them scale out their advertising network against Google, right? Who thinks of Microsoft and who thinks of Bing or who thinks of search and advertising? Google I joined again. I led our entire search strategy jab, these AI chatbots and things came out. Uska kya future tha? Brought us back to kind of growth. And then I was headhunted for this role in the AI side. So you have to find ways to reinvent yourself and stay curious about the world.
आपसे इंटरव्यू में ये क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ रहा था, डिग्रीज डिफरेंट है, जॉब कुछ और करना।
I don't care. मैं कहता हूँ, I think जो आपने किया does not predicate what you can do. So what you have done does not prevent you or limit you from what you are able to do. The only thing that is a limiting factor for humans is thought and execution.
आजकल बहुत लोग कहते हैं डिग्रीज मैटर नहीं करती, स्किल मैटर करता है। क्या वाकई ये चीज़ एग्जिस्ट करती है?
देखिए, आपको सब्सटेंस चाहिए है ना, आपको प्रोफेशनल कॉम्पिटेंस चाहिए in terms of डेप्थ. I think of it like a tea, right? So you need domain expertise in something. You have to find what that is, but you also need breadth of experience, of perspectives, of roles. You should be listening to everything, all types of different podcasts in your subject matter expertise, but you need depth of experience. So usme what you study has an influence, but it doesn't have to stop you. बहुत लोग मैंने मिले हैं जो who studied art at university, learn how to code, and now are software engineers. Right? I might not be able to write Python code, but I know how to vibe code. I understand coding languages, and I can talk to a chief technology officer. So you have to stay curious about how the world is changing.
So इन सब चीज़ों के बाद what you think कि after 5-10 years AI क्या कर जाएगी इस दुनिया में?
Yeah, I think it's too hard to forecast for 5-10 years. Well, what I will say is for the next year, 2026, those who know how to use AI agents and use generative AI will excel and exceed. Because previously, like आप सोचें, people want to start a business. Most businesses, in traditional form, you need lots of capital, industrial, manufacturing, agriculture, right? ठीक है. Then you had internet of e-commerce. That was a big boom. You can still sell online. Great. You might need some capital in acquiring the goods still with the products you want to sell abroad and so on. Now, the cost is actually decreasing because you can start an internet AI company very easily sitting in your bedroom. And then you can vibe code the product or the service you want to make and then start selling that abroad and start earning. So the game is now life-changing. You just have to start.
जो ये अपॉर्चुनिटी जिस तरह से आप बता रहे हैं, हम ख़ास तौर पे क्योंकि हम उर्दू में ज़्यादा एपिसोड्स हमारी रिकॉर्ड हुई हैं, तो हमारा ना ज़्यादातर जो ऑडियंस है वो मेरा ख्याल है कि वो एक यंग पाकिस्तानी है जो ये तो समझ गए कि मुझे कुछ सीखना है, मुझे कुछ डिफरेंट करना है. हमारे पास पॉडकास्ट में ऐसे काफ़ी गेस्ट्स आए हैं जिन्होंने AI की तरफ लोगों को सॉर्ट ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस किया है कि आप AI यूज़ करें. बट लेट्स से देयर इज समबडी हु इज़ वेरी यंग, अभी टाइम भी है बिकॉज हमें अब रियलाइज़ होता है कि जब हम यंग थे तो टाइम काफ़ी था. तो we did talk about it before coming here and sitting here as well कि यार the best currency maybe is time, right? सबसे बड़ी important चीज़. तो अब उन youngsters के लिए जो हमें देख रहे हैं और हम उनको बता तो रहे हैं कि AI में बहुत बड़ी opportunity है, where do they start? कुछ लोग मैं जानता हूँ जो अक्सर मुझसे पूछते हैं कि क्या AI की सर्टिफिकेशंस करनी चाहिए, क्या AI को यूज़ करना चाहिए, मैं करूँ क्या ना. लाइक एवरीबडी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट कि यार यहाँ पे बड़ा रूम है, यहाँ पे बहुत कुछ हो सकता है.
सिंपल सी चीज़ करें, आप अपना फ़ोन लें, फ़ोन को खोलें, गो इनटू जेमिनी, लाइव बटन प्रेस करें और उर्दू में बात करें. और आपको AI से पूछे ये मेरी ज़िंदगी है, ये मैं काम करता हूँ, ये मेरे प्रॉब्लम्स है, क्या कर सकता हूँ. अब AI से बात करें, एक लाइव फंक्शनैलिटी है उसके अंदर दैट यू कैन जस्ट हैव अ कॉन्वर्सेशन, जैसे हम बात कर रहे हैं. आई डू दैट.
पाकिस्तानी लड़कियों से बात करना बड़ा पसंद है। तो उनको एक अच्छी सी लड़की मिल जाएगी।
वो तो यू कैन स्पीक इन अ लेडीज वॉइस एज वेल, आप चाहें तो वो तो बन सकती है। बट दैट्स द बेस्ट प्लेस टू स्टार्ट। आप अपना फोन खोलें, जेमिनी खोलें, उर्दू में बात करें, आस्क इट लाइक ये मेरी जिंदगी है, दिस इज वेयर आई वर्क, दीस आर माय प्रॉब्लम्स, व्हाट डू आई डू।
मैं इससे मेरे जहन में एक बात आई है, मैं एक पॉडकास्ट देख रहा था, आई थिंक कोई इंडियन वॉइस थे, वो बात कर रहे थे कि एआई में ना एक बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है मैट्रिमोनी की। Because you normally would swipe right, swipe left, but there would be like a pattern, and उस pattern के हिसाब से आप किसी से मिलोगे and you'd either enjoy it or you won't enjoy it. So there's room for AI to study your patterns, and you can just feed it कि हाँ यार ये वाली date अच्छी थी या बुरी थी, and it would keep memorizing your patterns and start giving you just one date for a week and maybe.
अच्छा, important ये भी है कि अब आप यूज़ कर रहे थे, स्क्रॉल कर रहे होते हैं, अब AI इंजन इतने स्ट्रॉन्ग हो चुके हैं कि वो आप जो साउंड, जो म्यूज़िक, जिस तरह की वीडियो पसंद करते हो, ऑटोमेटिकली विद इन कुछ फ्यू मिनट्स वो AI चेंज हो जाता है और वही चीज़ें आपको दिखाने लगती। तो इंटरेस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा मैटर। कुछ पब्लिक टॉपिक्स होते हैं जो आपको आते हैं, बट आपकी फीड आपके माइंड के लिहाज से, मेरी फीड मेरे माइंड के लिहाज से।
इट्स अ मिरर।
इट्स अगर आप मोबाइल पे जाते हैं, इंस्टाग्राम खोलते हैं और सर्च के बटन पे क्लिक करते हैं, तो सब पता चल जाता है इसके दिमाग में क्या है। आप अपना देखेंगे, आपका पता चले। तो जो चीज़ें आप देख रहे होते हैं वो फ़ोन के अंदर ऑटोमेटिकली आ रही होती है। प्रोफाइल बड़ी पर्सनलाइज होती है, कंटेंट बहुत पर्सनलाइज होता है। यूट्यूब में चले जाएं, जो कंटेंट आप देख रहे हैं उसी से सजेस्टेड कंटेंट आपको आ रहा होता है। तो ये चीज़ें चेंज हो रहती हैं, वो इंजेक्ट होता है, वो माइंड सेट बड़ा मैटर करता है। तो AI इंजन अब बहुत स्ट्रांग हो। अब आप देखेंगे न्यू चैनल्स आते हैं, वो कंटेंट क्रिएट करते हैं, उनके सब्सक्राइबर नहीं होते, बट आप देखेंगे कि मिलियंस ऑफ व्यूज़ भी होते हैं उनको। वो जो कंटेंट उन्होंने बनाया वो रेजोनेट कर गया ऑडियंस के साथ। तो ये मैटर नहीं करता सब्सक्राइबर कितने थे। अभी भी अब हम स्टैट्स देखते हैं तो हमारे अगर फॉलोअर्स जितने हैं वो 10% कंटेंट को व्यू करते हैं, नॉन फॉलोअर्स 90% कंटेंट को। तो अब AI इंजन्स टेक ओवर कर रहे हैं फॉलोअर्स को और इन सब चीज़ों को, कि मैटर करती है। आई थिंक
एक चीज़ से पहले भी है दैट जैसे हम बात कर रहे हैं, दिस इज एन एको चेम्बर, ठीक है, दीज आर ऑल आवर व्यूज, बट the most useful thing जो every human has, हर बंदे के पास है, is their mind, is how they think. Like working at Google, one thing that always amazes me is how much information is at your fingertips, right? Of the world, दुनिया की. Anything you want to learn, anything you want to see, you can find. You just have to search for it. You have to have that thought and that spark कि मैंने इसको सीखना है and I want to go find it. So इसलिए भी even when you use AI and you're on these media feeds and you're looking at everything, it's your own job. It's social media is basically a reflection of you. So you have to, as a human, take ownership, take responsibility. आप देखें इसको like, how do I change this? What is something new I can search for? What's a different topic I can look at? Like history, art, something different. That's how you have to change it. That's how you stay interesting as a person. And even जो Elon Musk कहता है, like if jobs are, लोग ऐसे jobs करेंगे like it's a side project, like a side hustle, right? And then what is life? Then all the more reason that you have to think about how do I reprogram my life and then reprogram my social feeds and my AI to be more wider, more exploring. How do you stay competitive with the AI? Curiosity. Because if all you do now आप कुछ लिखें models के अंदर and you prompt it, the AI has no limit in thinking, ठीक है? It will think everything. So you have to look at that and say, how can I do that?
अच्छा, आपने जो अभी बात की ना, इसमें what I see is the unique thinking. हर किसी की अपनी एक सोच होनी चाहिए और हर कोई अपनी सोच से इवॉल्व करना चाहिए probably, right? Because हम लोग भी कंटेंट बनाते हैं, तो कोर पर्पस हमारा कंटेंट बनाने का मेन मकसद जो है ना, वो यही है कि हम वो वाला कंटेंट बनाएं जिसको जब कोई देखे तो वो रेजोनेट करे और उसका थॉट प्रोसेस शायद हम किसी भी तरीके से उसको प्रोवोक करें टू थिंक। क्योंकि मुझे पर्सनली ये लगता है कि मैन आई एम सो ब्लेस्ड कि अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मैं पाकिस्तान के शायद टॉप 5-10% लोगों में से आता हूँ who have that sort of an access कि वो यहाँ आके स्टूडियो में बैठ के लोगों से बात कर सकते हैं, we can manage the expenses of this place and everything because अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह we are blessed enough, right? अब मैं जितना मर्जी कंप्लेन करूँ कि मेरे हालात ऐसे हैं वैसे, बट स्टिल मुझे एक लेवरेज मिला हुआ है। एंड मुझे ये लगता है कि व्हेन आई कंपेयर दिस to something different, people who are probably not that at that phase, मुझे सबसे बड़ा जो difference नज़र आता है ना वो mindset का है. मेरा पर्सनल बिलीफ है कि जो सबसे ज़्यादा मेन कोर एरिया ऑफ इम्प्रूवमेंट है ना हमारे यहाँ, वो शायद माइंडसेट है. एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली वेयर वी स्टार्टेड मेकिंग दिस कंटेंट एज वेल, कि हम लोग वो कंटेंट बनाएं जिसको देख के जब लोग रेजोनेट करें तो उनका माइंडसेट को हम इम्प्रूव कर सकें. एंड जब आपने बात अभी व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट इट एज वेल कि इंस्टा पे सबकी फीड सेम है, बट द यूनिक प्रोपोजिशन वुड बी व्हाट आर यू थिंकिंग.
करेक्ट.
बिकॉज अगर आपका माइंडसेट वहीं पे है जहाँ पे आपको वही कंटेंट नज़र आना है, आपको क्रिंज कंटेंट नज़र आ रहा है, एंड यू ऑलवेज सी द क्रिंज कंटेंट एंड यू कीप टॉकिंग अबाउट पाकिस्तान में क्रिंज कंटेंट बहुत है, तो देयर सम वे यू एज वेल टू बी ब्लेम्ड.
करेक्ट.
एंड यू प्रोबेबली हैव टू चेंज योर माइंडसेट टू सॉर्ट ऑफ गेट टू दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ कंटेंट.
आप ये देखिए, जब सबसे पहले बात करते हैं एज वेल, आप कहते हैं you can go to Nano Banana into Gemini and make an image. It's a new image, and it's like new, it's exciting. And we like it because the model is unique. But हर आदमी is unique. हर बंदे के पास अपनी story, अपनी history है, अपने thoughts हैं, अपने dreams हैं. तो
हर बंदा एक AI एजेंट है.
हर बंदा एक AI एजेंट है. ऐसे ही सोचना चाहिए.
AI नहीं, artificially real intelligence.
Real intelligence. हर बंदा एक amazing real intelligence है. AI भी जो है, just जो AI के technical है ना, just mimics जैसे हमारा दिमाग काम करता है. The neurons and the perceptions, everything वही है. तो AI is learning from us. तो जैसे आप AI को कुछ पूछते हैं कि ये मेरे लिए काम करो, आप अपने आप से भी पूछना चाहिए कि ये मैं कैसे करता. और आप अपने AI के साथ उसको खोलें, बात करें, स्पीच के साथ बोल के, उर्दू में बोल लें, ठीक है, कि ये मैं कैसे करूं. फिर आप सोचें ये गलत है या सही है, इसको हाउ कैन आई मेक इट बेटर. सो माई पॉइंट इज दैट द मैजिक ऑफ AI is in its uniqueness, but the magic of humans is in their real uniqueness.
But Hashim bhai, when you were in your early life, जब आपने अपनी ज़िंदगी के फैसले लिए हैं, you were not using any ChatGPT or AI for that, right? तो वो बच्चा जो अभी हमें देख रहा है, ओके AI यूज़ करे फॉर द कोर स्किल्स एज वेल, बट अपने दिमाग को, अपने स्किल सेट को, अपनी सोच को, अपने माइंडसेट को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए आपके ख्याल से क्या करना चाहिए? व्हाट मेक्स देम थिंक लाइक यू?
पहले रीडिंग is very important. आप किताब पढ़ें, like I read a lot of non-fiction, leadership के book पढ़ें, read about people's stories, read about people's journeys, उन्होंने कैसे काम किया, how did they get to their positions, right? Like perspective is very important. Second is meet new people. जो आप if you meet the same type of people, वही बात करेंगे जो 2 दिन पहले काम. जैसे जब शादी चल रही होती है, you meet the same 5 people every single day. आप कहते हैं कितना boring है ना, like the same conversation, the same people. Go meet new people. New stories, new ideas, new opportunities for you. And then third, you have to try. I did politics, philosophy, economics. First, I thought I wanted to be an investment banker. I did an internship at JP Morgan in London. Got the offer, hated it, didn't want to go back. Then I said, okay, let me do something in marketing. I went to Facebook. Uske baad maine socha, I want to build a fitness company. I tried building a fitness app. Then I said, okay, let me go back into technology. Went to Microsoft. Uske baad I said, let me try AI. What I have no technical qualification.
जो आप सोच रहे हैं वो आप कर रहे हैं.
वो मैं कर रहा हूँ, trying, है ना?
आगे क्या सोच रहे हैं बाबा?
Yeah, honestly,
put pressure on yourself.
I think आपको everyone should focus on what is the mission of their life, right? And for some reason, I have always felt privileged. आप भी बात कर रहे थे. I've had a lot of privilege in my life.
Yeah.
And I've always felt a responsibility as a Pakistani living overseas, but my whole family is here. हमारे घर में जब we were growing up, there was a rule. If you spoke English, nobody would answer you back. Like me, my sisters, we all had to speak Urdu. So I've always felt very proud to be Pakistani. My name is Hashim, not Hashim or Hash. So basically, like my mission in life, I don't know, has always been to try and do something good for Pakistan as a representation abroad, or try and do things here, जैसे आज कर रहा हूँ. That has been my thing. जो बिनल में that happens.
आपने बताया आपके मुताबिक रीडिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, नए लोगों से मिलना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Is there anything else as well?
Discipline, habits. लोग कहेंगे I'm very boring, I'm very dull, because मैं उठता हूँ सुबह, I like to exercise, मैं वही नाश्ता करता हूँ, मैं काम करता हूँ, meet my friends, do my business, do my work, go to sleep, repeat. Like in discipline ke andar, there's a lot you can gain. Consistency, habits. One of the best books I ever read was Atomic Habits by James Clear. Right? And it says when you break down your big complex tasks into atomic micro units and you look at them and build together a workflow, that's how you succeed. AI ki hum baat kar rahe hain. Why are AI agents to log fear kar rahe hain, like AI will take over the world and take over the life? Why is that? Because agents are very process focused. You give an instruction, it delivers on that instruction. But to deliver on that, you have to like book a flight. It has to go look at the flight, find flights, and book the flight. Process है. The same way that humans need discipline. You have to build your own discipline.
कौन सी हैबिट ने आपकी जिंदगी चेंज की है?
Yeah, I grew up very obese, very fat. Not by not just by like a not by like a metric, body fat, weight, wasn't allergies, but by a feeling. So I always felt like I had a lot to prove. And then I got really into fitness. I was doing CrossFit. I was running like 5 kilometers in 20 minutes, 10 kilometers in like 46 minutes. I was weightlifting. I was playing competitive sport. So for me, exercise changed my life.
Yeah.
And abhi meri shaadi hoti thi 6 months pehle, to thoda sa wazan upar ho gaya. But I still have that discipline of exercising, working out, trying to eat healthy, these things.
I'm very new to this. मैंने पिछले 1 साल में I've hit the gym consistently. But I can resonate with that a lot because जब मैंने एक काम ये किया कि I kept one time, एक जो भी टाइम है दोपहर का 12 बजे का for example, and I went at the same time daily. And that time made me sort of go whenever, so there were a lot of times जब मेरा दिल नहीं करता था, but I still go because अब ये time है. And then I like 3-4 महीने या 6 महीने into it, I changed that time. फिर मैंने वो सुबह का कर दिया. तो फिर वो सुबह पे रोज़ जाना, एंड वो शुरू में लगता था कि इट्स सो टफ कि मैं सुबह उठूँगा और जल्दी जाऊँगा, एंड देयर आर डेज आई हेटेड इट, बट देन आई सॉ दिस वीडियो. उसमें वो कहता है कि जब आपका किसी काम को करने का बिल्कुल दिल ना कर रहा हो एंड देन यू डू इट, तो आप नए न्यूरल पाथवेज क्रिएट करते हो, दैट ग्रोज योर ब्रेन. तो आई रेजोनेट विद दैट इन दैट सेंस कि आई फील लाइक दैट कि वो फिर अब मे बी इट कुड बी प्लेसिबो कि अब मैंने वो वीडियो देख ली,
नहीं,
आई स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग अबाउट इट कि यार अब तो करूँगा.
जब when आप भाग रहे हो and you're out of breath, you are growing your lung capacity. When you are lifting heavy weights, you are growing your muscle capacity.
Yeah.
So आप स्कूल में हो, you're growing your mental capacity.
Yeah.
जिंदगी का क्या फर्ज है if not to grow your own personal capacity in some way, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. This is the point, I think, of being and existing, right? To stretch yourself, to grow yourself. That's the space.
I heard that line somewhere कि life is all about growth, and it's just a continuation of that.
Yeah.
And we see that in universe, that universe is expanding. It's
Universe
always growing.
expanding. Yeah, like Abhi recently I hosted a conference for developers and university students in Pakistan में. मैंने सबको कहा, जब आप सोते हैं रात के वक्त and you think of all the things that you wish you could build or do, you now can. The only thing that's limiting you is your thought. The same way that go to these AI models, build a company, try vibe coding something, but like breathe these healthy habits in your life. Discipline के लिए, like and discipline is not boring, because जब मैं सुबह जिम जाता हूँ खुद, उधर न्यूयॉर्क में, it's dark, pitch darkness, ठीक है?
Yeah.
Like it's just me. कोई और नहीं मेरे साथ. It allows thinking.
Yeah.
I think about things, about life, about stories, about my career, about lots of things. So that helps breed creativity.
Yeah.
जब आपके पास time नहीं है, तो how can you do anything?
Yes.
Exactly.
You're a machine.
Yes.
And to beat the machines, you have to have thinking. And to have thinking, you need time.
Do you do meditation as well?
I think I do a weird kind of gym meditation that I like to, get out of breath and strength. I don't really meditate, लेकिन इसका मैंने कुछ शुरू करना है.
So what's your sort of routine? What's your sort of mantra into this? When you have a day जहाँ पे things were not your way, मज़ा नहीं आया, whatever, bad news or whatever, how do you get out of it? आप क्या करते हैं? Do you like go burn some fats, running करते हैं, या do you have something for it?
Yeah, पहले I got a lot into boxing. वो मैं बहुत करता था पहले actually. Boxing.
अच्छा, interesting.
I think possibly वो aggression के लिए निकालने. Lekin now, I like to talk to my friends, to my wife, and just think about things and not to dwell on it. You know, like lots of bad things happen, but if it's out of your control, what can you do?
That's so powerful, na, when you realize कि it's out of your control. छोटी सी बात है, पर it's so powerful. हम बचपन से बड़े हुए हैं और हमें सिखाया गया है कि अल्लाह की मर्जी थी, ये अल्लाह की मर्जी है. और अक्सर हम आपस में भी बात कर रहे थे, तो मैं ये बात करता होता हूँ कि there was something we were aspiring for, and when we don't get it, we अक्सर say कि इसमें बेहतरी होगी. पर बेहतरी का मतलब ना एक ये भी है कि अगर वो हो जाता तो वो बुरा था.
लेकिन you have to try.
Obviously, you have to
do your best.
You don't have to be complacent about it.
हाँ, बिल्कुल. Do your best. बाकी आप छोड़ दें.
बाकी आप छोड़ दें.
कुछ चीज़ें आपके कंट्रोल से बाहर हैं.
हाँ,
क्या आज आप जहाँ हैं, क्या आपने मैनिफेस्ट किया था कि आप यहाँ होंगे?
नहीं, कभी भी नहीं.
कोई भी बंदा, मुझे नहीं लगता इस दुनिया में मिला, जितने भी हैं, जब भी हम उनसे क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि जो आप कर रहे हैं, क्या आप जब स्टूडेंट लाइफ में थे या कॉलेज, क्या आपने मैनिफेस्ट किया था कि मैं यहाँ था? मैं जो कर रहा हूँ, मैंने भी नहीं किया था. कभी कोई चीज़ नहीं करता. कोई एक पावर है जो कंट्रोल कर रही है सारा. एंड तक डेस्टिनेशन क्लियर है. आप अक्सर दिन में 10 प्लान बनाते हैं, 10 में से 1-2 नहीं होता. अक्सर आप बनाते भी नहीं है प्लान, तो वो हो जाता है. तो ये लाइफ जो है ना, लगती है कि आपके कंट्रोल में है. बड़ा खुश कि मैं आई कैन कंट्रोल आती है कि मर्द के अंदर. बट ये हर किसी, बट ये है कि वो कुछ चीज़ें फिर आपको ऐसा तोड़ती है, आप कहते हो यार नहीं,
बस मेरे पास नहीं है. मैजिक है, मैजिक है ना.
डिसिप्लिन की बात अगर की जाए, पाकिस्तान में शायद हर किसी को पता है कि डिसिप्लिन बहुत ज़रूरी है. लोग बड़ा एस्पायर करते हैं कि फ़ौज में बड़ा डिसिप्लिन होता है, बड़े अच्छे लोग हैं जी, बड़े डिसिप्लिन लोग हैं. सबको समझ आ रही है डिसिप्लिन ज़रूरी है, बट कर नहीं पा रहे हैं. क्या ख्याल है आपका, ऐसा क्या है जो उनको करना चाहिए टू बी डिसिप्लिन्ड, या व्हाट डू यू डू टू स्टे डिसिप्लिन्ड?
I think it's hard, right? Particularly if आप सोचें, you're in, imagine आप जिम जाएं and you're the only one, there's 100 people in the gym and 99 लोग जिम में आए हैं, मेंबरशिप उन्होंने दी है, फीस, लेकिन फ़ोन पे बैठे हैं, और आप एक बंदे हो जिसको आपने कार्डियो करना है, वेट्स करना है, स्ट्रेचिंग करनी है, हर चीज़, and everyone around you is just whatever, like who cares? So it's very hard. But इसलिए you can't look to someone else to fix your life or to build your discipline. You have to build your own discipline. जब कह अभी मैजिक की लाइफ में, ठीक है, baby crawls but then it starts walking.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know how. It just starts walking by itself, right? And then if you are being chased, you will start running. So the same way, you have to react to your surroundings and you have to proactively make it better. And I think Pakistan honestly has some of the hardest working people as well that I've ever met in the world, who want nothing but better for their own lives. And they are really disciplined. I have met so many Pakistanis in Europe, in the Middle East, in the US, in the UK, who are so disciplined about the lives that they build. जब उधर काम करते हैं, पैसे वापस भेजते हैं, or they build new lives over there. They help their families, they support their friends. So wherever you are, you have to build your own discipline.
अब मुझे आपकी बातों से याद आया कि इंसान अपने ना मैक्सिमम को कब पुश करता है. वो बड़ी मिसाल होती थी बचपन में, कहते थे कि यार अगर एक कुत्ता पीछे पड़ गया ना, तो इंसान जिस स्पीड से भागता है उतना नॉर्मल नहीं भाग सकता. तो जब आपको एक ट्रॉमा में जाते हो ना कि यार अगर मैंने ये काम ना किया तो मेरे साथ ये हो जाएगा, तो वो जिस कैपेबिलिटीज़ पे आप अपना जाते हो ना, मैक्सिमम पुश करते हो, वो आम सिचुएशन में नहीं होता. तो आई थिंक अगर इंसान चाहे तो जितनी अपर लिमिट्स को पुश कर सकता है वो करे.
I mean, philosophy is that you should push yourself until you can't push yourself anymore. That's when you exceed. That's when you hit your maximum potential. That's your highest performance. Like high performance की बात करते हैं. 4 years ago, I could run 5 kilometers in 20 minutes. Now I have knee injuries and everything. I don't regret it. Like I run slower, but I was like, I really pushed myself to my maximum. What can I do now? So, yes, you're getting older, जो भी हो चीज़ होती है, but you have to constantly be pushing yourself. Complacency is like the enemy of progression and the enemy of life. And that's not to say don't be grateful. Be grateful.
Be grateful.
Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for the things that you've been given, but do something with it.
A lot of our current, ख़ासतौर पे सोशल मीडिया और इस सब की वजह से लोग complacent नहीं हो रहे, but लोग proactive भी नहीं हो रहे. बिकॉज उनको उधर से ही इतनी डोपामिन स्पाइक मिल जाती है कि बस आज का हो गया, एंड देन दे डोंट गो आउट एंड डू एनीथिंग. एंड सिमिलरली व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट न्यू प्रोग्रेशंस लाइक एआई और इस तरह की बाकी चीज़ें भी हैं, वी ऑफन हैव दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ स्केप्टिसिज्म कि कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि मैं अपनी एक नेचुरल जो मेरी द बेस्ट आई कुड डू मैं उसको कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ कर दूंगा इन ऑर्डर टू टेक सम हेल्प और मे बी सीक समथिंग न्यू.
I think,
I've heard that sort of an argument, by the way. So yes, you see that they're all sides of the picture.
I'll tell you a story. Well, when I got my internship at JP Morgan doing sales, and then I got the offer to return as a full-time employee, I said no, right? I mean, sorry, family ने मुझे कहा like पागल है, crazy है,
JP Morgan में
बेवकूफ है, stupid है, जो भी चीज़. और मैंने 2 बातें की. I said one, कोई सोच रहा था like 5 years ago I would have a JP Morgan internship. No, I didn't. And second thing is, I said, if I can do this, why can't I do something better? Right? And that's when I said, okay, I'm building a business at the same time where I was learning Facebook advertising, Facebook marketing. I thought Facebook was a bigger and better company. Let me go work there. Abhi, most recently, I've started my own like little business as well, building an AI agent to help people manage their time better. Wow. I'm not a coder, but मैंने खुद थोड़ा सा सीखा how to vibe code, how to work with languages and इस तरह की चीज़ें. So you have to like constantly push yourself.
ये जो सोच है ना कि I have to just keep on improving and keep on think bigger. What sort of inculcates that? हमें तो ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे कि हमारे पास ना 2 sides of the picture हैं. एक ये है कि जिधर हो अल्लाह का शुक्र करो, यहाँ पहुँच गए हो, यहाँ तक बिना पहुँचते ये हुआ वो हुआ वगैरह वगैरह. दूसरी साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी ये है कि जैसे तैसे करके हराम भी खाना खाओ, जो मर्जी करो, बस यू हैव टू टर्न दिस अराउंड. तो ऐसा लगता है ना कि लाइक देयर इज सॉर्ट ऑफ अ डिवाइड ऑन 2 एक्सट्रीम्स, एंड देन देयर इज दिस बैलेंस, दिस फाइन बैलेंस वेयर यू सॉर्ट ऑफ हैव टू कीप पुशिंग एज वेल, एंड यू हैव टू कीप योरसेल्फ नॉट sort of away from complacency as well.
People do it for different reasons, right? People do it for legacy. People do it for money. I think ultimately the most successful people, they do it for fulfillment, for some bigger purpose, and that's different for everybody.
I think the why is maybe
the why is the most important thing that you can ever find for yourself. Like, आप क्यों इस मुल्क में हैं? Why are you on this planet? Why are you in this house? Why are you, in this place of work or something? And you have to find that why and say, what do you want to achieve with your life? And, like one of my most inspiring people who talks about this why piece is, Simon Sinek on YouTube, start with why. Right? Another guy I'm inspired by Sahil Bloom. He was a private equity guy in New York and then transitioned into being an investor.
Great content,
everything, right? And, you have to find that why. That why are you doing things? Like I'm here, I'm on holiday, right? But I'm in Pakistan aajkal. And, I live in New York. I work there. I have my clients there. I've met my targets, all of that sort of good stuff. Lekin Pakistan is my passion. Shuru se. Always been my passion. To see Pakistan do well in the world, Pakistani people exceed, and, help people give them opportunities. That's why I've helped start, Google's first like sort of AI fellowship here, working with companies, working with developers, working with startups. It doesn't benefit me anyway materially or anything. But to see like, people be able to excel and succeed. And I'm playing a very small part in their story and in their journey. And I haven't done anything special or big, but whatever you can do to help people, exceed and just start, it's so fulfilling.
I think बड़ा अच्छा टाइम है, because sort of न्यू ईयर भी अभी नया आया था, हर किसी ने अपने नए साल के गोल्स बनाए, और जब तक हमारी ये एपिसोड लाइव होगी तब तक मेरा ख्याल है डिसाइड कर चुके होंगे कि हो गया. सो आई थिंक कि गोल्स वैसे तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं, बट गोल्स को भी फुलफिल करने के लिए सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ शायद आपका उस गोल को परस्यू करने की वजह ही है. Why do you want it? And your why should be crystal clear. Because अगर आपका why clear नहीं है, इवन हमारी पॉडकास्ट में भी हमने काफ़ी दफ़ा हमारे पास चैलेंजेस आए, and it felt like this is it. And we never talked about कि यार चलो मज़ा आया. We always talked about कि यार अब करना दोबारा कैसे करना है, how do we start it again? Because our why was so clear कि हमने करना तो है ही है. तो I think it helps you, वो जब रेनी डेज आते हैं तो वो जो वाई है ना, वो आपको शायद वो ऑन द ट्रैक रखता है.
आपको ढूंढना पड़ता है अपना वाई. You know, ऐसे नहीं है आपके सामने होगी. You have to find it.
You have to find it.
You know, there's something deep inside every single human about why do they do what they do. What is that for? For family, for legacy. I don't know. Whatever. You have to find
But
it.
why ढूंढना बहुत मुश्किल है नहीं?
मुश्किल है, लेकिन आपको you know आपको you find it by doing things as well.
Yeah.
You know, you can't ऐसे मैं घर बैठ जाऊँ मैं सोचूं मेरा why क्या आज पता नहीं. I don't know. You have to do things. You have to go into the world, meet new people, try new things, find new opportunities.
मुझे लगता है एक और चीज़ जो बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है ना वाई ढूंढने के लिए, वो है कि आप अपना गोल बनाओ, एक दफ़ा ना उसको कर लो. When you achieve it ना, तो फिर आप देखो कि how does it feel? Like, you know, talk to yourself.
वही चीज़.
When you talk to yourself ना, you realize कि यार ये मुझे उतना चाहिए नहीं था. Like, you know, उतना नहीं मज़ा आया.
हर चीज़ में से इंसान जो है, ह्यूमन नेचर ऐसी है, जब भी कोई चीज़ मिल जाए तो उसको वो कहता है कि
And that's what drives the growth as well ना. तो जब आपको मज़ा नहीं आ रहा ना, that's what makes
अक्सर ये होता है कि आप जब अचीव के बिल्कुल करीब होते हो, उसके बाद आप उससे नेक्स्ट पे चले जाते हो. आप उसको हमेशा सेलिब्रेट नहीं करते. लेट्स से अगर मैं कोई नई गाड़ी ली है, मैं उसके अंदर एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ, अक्सर लोग उसको सेलिब्रेट नहीं करेंगे, उससे नेक्स्ट देखने लग जाएंगे, यार ये चीज़ अच्छी है. तो इट्स ए ह्यूमन नेचर, ये चेंज नहीं कर सकते, बट कोई कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं इसको. अच्छा, इतना कुछ करने हैं अमेरिका में, सारा सब कुछ घूम रहे हैं, वाई पाकिस्तान क्यों आ रहे हैं? लोग तो भागना चाह रहे हैं यहाँ से.
My name is Hashim, not Hashim. It's not Hash. And you know, wherever you are in the world, कहीं भी जाओ, I say I'm from Pakistan. It's my country.
कैसा रिस्पॉन्स मिलता है?
कभी अच्छा है, कभी मिक्स, कभी कंफ्यूज. वो लोग कहते हैं अच्छा, you born in London, grew up in the Netherlands, you worked in the US and Ireland and like the Middle East and everything, तो आप पाकिस्तान से कहाँ? I said आप बस है मेरे अंदर कोई चीज़. You know, I mean, I'd always come back and forth every year, like a couple of times a year, very close to all my families here. You know, and I've seen different family members, you know, excel in different things, whether it's politics, business, government, whatever. So I've always felt like a sense of responsibility that, you know, you should do something.
What's the major difference? आप वहाँ भी रहते हैं, लोग मैनिफेस्ट करते हैं अमेरिका में अच्छी जॉब हो, लाइफ, डॉलर्स, एवरीथिंग. हर पाकिस्तानी बच्चा ये चीज़ पसंद करता है. बट आप वहाँ जाके पाकिस्तान आते हैं, क्या आपको मेजर डिफरेंस क्या फील होता है कि
लोगों के
क्या आपको वो चीज़, वो लाइफ मज़े की लगती है कि आपको लगता है कि जो पाकिस्तान में ज़िंदगी जी रहे हैं अच्छी है वो ज़्यादा?
Yeah, देखो, like, you know, life उधर बाहर is very fulfilling. I'm very grateful for it. I'm learning a lot. लेकिन, you know, it hits different जब आप, because it's my why. You know, when I applied to university, my first line on my application, on my cover letter was, I feel it is my inherent responsibility to deliver positive change to Pakistan. And, you know, people can say you have or you haven't, but I'm saying I'm trying. जो भी मैंने काम किया, whether it's, you know, hiring 3 people here, working full-time employees for my own business, or doing the Google work, or when I came here with Facebook, or when I, you know, do free consulting here for businesses, I'm trying to find ways, you know, for my why. And, you know, maybe I haven't cracked him in a, you know, it's not 100%, but you have to try. So, you know, life बाहर की is very exciting and लोगों को जाना चाहिए, experience करो, live it, enjoy it. But your country is your country, always.
हमें ना अक्सर औकात लोग मिलते हैं और हम देखते हैं पाकिस्तान में ऐसा लगता है कि people are living a life of lack. ख़ास तौर पे पैसे को लेके लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि उनके जो beliefs हैं, they are very sort of on the lack side of things. They're not very abundant. वो कुछ हालात होते हैं वगैरह वगैरह for different reasons, right? What is that sort of आपका इस पे क्या ओपिनियन है कि क्योंकि पाकिस्तान से बाहर ना दुनिया में there is still lack, but still people maintain a certain standard of living. Does that help कि पाकिस्तान में लोग क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा अरसा अपनी ज़िंदगी का लैक में गुजारते हैं, तो they are more driven towards making a change, you know, making things work for them, या वो उतना ही ज़्यादा आप used to हो चुके हैं कि बस ठीक है ऐसे ही हालात हैं और ऐसे ही रहेंगे?
Person to person होता है ना, हर बंदा अपनी स्टोरी है. लेकिन, you know, there's a lot of people that you obviously meet abroad as well, who have access, who have privilege, who just don't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, they also don't do anything. And then like काम चल रहा है, काम ठीक है, तो मैं क्यों कुछ करूँ, right?
Yeah.
So it's individual. That's why, you know, I always say you have to find it, you have to do it. And, you know, like Pakistanis in the US represent one, I think, like the 4th or 5th highest GDP per capita sort of income group or something like that. And that says to me, like, Pakistanis, recent migration to the US as well. People have gone there to look for better lives, right? And even here, the people that started investing in, let's say, the stock market who become millionaires or into the hundreds of thousands, investing in our companies in this market. The Pakistani Stock Exchange has been one of the best performing stock markets in the world globally.
Yes.
So, isliye, you have to find your own opportunities. Ab bahar bhi jaye na, like, you still have to look for a job, or you still have to want to start your own thing. I meet so many ambitious people who are building companies here and selling to the world. That doesn't make them a back office. That makes them the real pioneers of the technology that's being sold abroad. So that puts Pakistanis in a very privileged position in the world in which we can have a lot of influence.
I think a lot of that goes down to the positioning as well. Na? A lot of people would be positioning it as ke bas operations Pakistan mein manage karta hu. But the way you are positioning it is very different. Like,
तो ठीक है, but why is that a problem? Just say, like,
I don't think it's a problem.
आप सोचे ना, like, मैं कहता हूँ, like, you have to. देखो, हम बैठ सकते हैं, हम ये भी कह सकते हैं, हमारे पास national नहीं है, model नहीं है, हमारे पास data centers, all this sort of stuff नहीं है, but it doesn't like do anything.
Yeah.
So you have to play with the cards that you're given. And like, if everyone's on a poker table, everyone's like playing a game of cards, you have to play with the cards that you have and use what you can. They say, like, either to build something here and sell it abroad is far more competitive for a lot of businesses than setting something up in the US. जहाँ पे cost higher हो, है ना? Like, the cost will be high, everything will be far more. So make use of what you have, right? Like, आपने पूछा आप AI में कैसे पहुंचे? आपने तो computer science, software engineering नहीं की. तो मैंने कहा मैंने नहीं की. But what I have done is I've built companies, I've scaled programs, and I've worked across the world. So you have to use what you have to succeed.
So what's your bet on Pakistan?
Massive. This is Pakistan's moment, and particularly in AI and technology, this is Pakistan's AI and IT moment. 25,000 new IT grads enter the market every year. We have the world's third largest IT freelancers in the world. And we have one of the youngest populations in the world. That is an asset. Every single person who is sun raha hai and who keh raha hai, I'm a young person, I'm at school, I'm at university, you are an asset for the country, for yourself, and for the world. So this is now your moment. Vibe code, build something. Go learn something new. Go find something new to create. Go fix a problem. This is our moment, right? I'm 28 years old, right? I have the privilege of being in the right age at the right moment of one of the biggest shifts in the world. Ye kab hoega? I missed the iPhone moment. I wasn't around for the internet moment. This is our moment. So take it, seize it.
अच्छा, आपको क्या लगता है कि जो पाकिस्तानी पीपल है इन AI किस चीज़ पे ज़्यादा काम कर रहे हैं, और अगर एक यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर है वो किस चीज़ पे ज़्यादा काम करे तो बिजनेस पे एक्सेल कर रहा है? अच्छा, बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि अगर कोई काम कर भी रहा है तो वो चाहता है कि यार मुझे क्लाइंट्स मिले अमेरिका से या डिफरेंट कंट्री से, वो कैसे क्लाइंट्स ले सकता है, कैसे वर्किंग कर सकता है?
पहले आप डिस्टिंग्विश करें, आप सर्विस बिजनेस है कि प्रोडक्ट बिजनेस, ठीक है? Service business, you are basically selling projects abroad. So you have to find, what are the problems that businesses are facing that they need in terms of like kind of software help, right? That either implementation, delivery, building new pieces of kit, find that, build it, ship it, sell it, and then tell the story to get more clients. And good work speaks for itself. That if you deliver something good for one customer, they'll make their introductions. Product-based companies is also very interesting now because through artificial intelligence, through AI, आप कुछ भी बना सकते हैं, आप कुछ भी भेज सकते हैं, कहीं भी. And I think vibe coding, for instance, is one of the best ways in which you can build and sell something abroad. जो भी ideas हैं, जो आप कहते हैं, I want to build something, मुझे पता नहीं कैसे. Phone खोलें, Gemini को खोलें, उससे बात करें and say, build me this product. And then try and sell it. आप LinkedIn पे जाएं, आप Twitter पे जाएं, X पे जाएं, social media use करें, run advertising campaigns, connect to local groups from universities or foreign groups, look at like investors, get people using your product and just scaling from that. And that's the best way. There is so much help out there. I think the challenge is actually just trying to find the right help because there's so much. So you just have to go and look for it.
अच्छा, अगर एक क्लाइंट मिल गया, सारा सब कुछ हो गया और ज़्यादा उस चीज़ को इन्हांस करने जाते हैं क्योंकि माइंडसेट का बड़ा डिफरेंट है जो डिफरेंट क्लाइंट जो बाय का क्लाइंट है वो बड़ा ट्रिकी है, बड़ी चीज़ों को नीटी ग्रिटी में जाता है। जो पाकिस्तानी माइंडसेट है वो चाहता है कि यार अर्न करूँ, बस क्लाइंट को ऊपर से काम करूँ। व्हाट यू थिंक अबाउट अभी आपने भी अपना बताया?
हाँ है ना, ये मेरे साथ भी हुआ था इन डिफरेंट केस, बट लेकिन योर वर्क हैज़ टू बी एक्सेप्शनल। एंड जो आप मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि इफ़ यू गेट अ क्लाइंट, again, it's a privilege, right? You've won that client, you put the hard work in to win that client. Now deliver on that work, right? Deliver on that trust, deliver on that relationship, and deliver good work. Because if you deliver on good work, that's how you will scale. Figma, right? Everyone knows Figma for UI, UX. Figma scaled because its product was so good. One of the best scaling features was, share with friends. So as an individual designer started to build and use Figma to build their app interfaces and their website demos, they would share it with friends, and their friends loved it. So then they kept going, and that's how Figma became like a multi-billion-dollar company. So the same way that आप कोई product बनाते हो, कोई service भेजते हैं abroad, your work is your currency, right? You have to deliver good work, exceptional work to basically find more work. That's how it works.
अच्छा, आप अपने आप को over the period of time कहाँ देखते हैं? हाशिम क्या बनना चाहता है?
हाशिम क्या बनना चाहता है? I would love to serve Pakistan in something that connects the dots between the incredible talent and work that we have here to the companies and opportunities abroad. Usse pehle, I really want to keep excelling in my own career. I'm the youngest go-to-market lead at Google in AI. It's a privilege. I love it. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I'm trying to build my own company as well for learning, for curiosity, and because I found a pain point in calendar management and scheduling and all this other stuff. But my mission has always been to try and do something for here. So I would like to do something in that.
Do you have any regret in your life?
No. Sometimes I think I do. Honestly, it's human nature to think, "Main kash main ye karta, main wo karta," and things. But everything has turned out well. I'm very grateful, and regret just eats away at your creativity and your aspirations. So be grateful. I say, be humble, to accept that you make mistakes. Be hungry to ask questions and find new opportunities for yourself, and hustle hard. Whatever happened. It's part of your story.
And what was your happiest moment of your life?
Happiest moment of my life, honestly, I think it was my nikah. Honestly. I don't know. I just.
I think you find a good life partner.
I found a really good life partner. It was a beautiful ceremony, and we were joking to say finding life partners and all this is very hard. मुश्किल होता है ना, तो हर बंदे की अपनी journey होती है ना, and it's an emotional tax on it. So honestly, I think I met the best life partner for me, who keeps me grounded, who keeps me very happy, who keeps me very on my toes to think about new things and how I can live a better life both professionally and personally. So that moment, आप सोचते हैं magical चीज़ हो रही है, you forget everything. आपका काम and the stress, you just enjoy the moment. So that for me was my happiest moment. Also my mehndi, I really like dancing. So I think I had 5-6 solos, तो वो भी बहुत मज़ा आया था उसके ऊपर.
आपका अपने करियर में जिस तरह आपने प्रोग्रेस किया है, अपनी प्रोग्रेशन में, what was your sort of belief around money and abundance, जो कि आपका शुरू में था and then it changed with time, और अब वो different है?
Yeah, I think money के साथ I think I always said I want to be independent and support myself. I think my thing changed that. Pehle I used to think getting a job was easy. Honestly, I think I got rejected. From Google, I got rejected 46 times in the space of 2 years before I even got an interview.
Wow.
46 times.
Minimum, if not more. And my point is that who cares? It's an email, you get over with it. But, I would think uske baad, why am I getting rejected? Is it the wrong role? Is it something in my CV?
क्या कर रहे थे आप? Changing क्या कर रहे थे 46 times अगर आप reject हुए थे?
Yeah, I would think about everything. मैं सोच रहा हूँ, what role am I applying for? Why am I applying for that role? What skills do I have? What am I missing? I need to develop, more skills in maybe sales or partnerships or marketing, go-to-market, product management, jo bhi. So I would find online courses, try and do those. I would connect with new people and learn about what are they doing, what work are they doing, and constantly look to try and build myself. And kabhi, it's just not meant for you at the right time. And that doesn't mean to say because I was applying 46 times, I wasn't enjoying what I was doing. But my point is that you have to constantly be pushing yourself to find new opportunities and thinking about what can you do better. Like this role that I'm in now, doing sort of AI go-to-market. Honestly, 2 years ago, I knew nothing about AI. I'd found a course online. I did that course from Oxford. Phir uske baad, I started, building my own stuff in the technology to actually learn about it. Like, ye kaise chalta kaise hai na? Log bahut bolte hain about generative AI agents. Like, what is an AI agent? How do you actually make an AI agent? And experiencing and learning things for yourself to actually be able to figure out what is the job, right? And you have to learn. I'm a big believer you learn by doing. Yeah. So you have to find those things and do those things.
आपके general beliefs में over the time, because obviously बात है कि with time now you start progressing and you keep progressing and you look back and you'll feel sort of proud of yourself, right? What would be that one belief जिसको आपने बदला और बहुत कुछ बदल गया?
Nobody cares about you.
That's a very strong one, yeah.
Nobody cares about you.
Yeah, that's a very strong one, yeah.
Look, people, it's a privilege if you can inspire even one mind, right? And also, jealousy, whatever, forget that. But the reality is, हर बंदे अपनी जिंदगी में बहुत बिजी है. हर बंदे के पास अब बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, बहुत चीज़ें उनके दिमाग में चल रही है. उनके पास मैं जो सोच रहा हूँ जो अच्छा आदमी है उसके दिमाग में जगह नहीं आपके लिए. There's too much going on. So, when I do a lot of public speaking, and I think again it's a privilege to allow people, people want to listen to you, right? Yeah. Even things like this. So, sometimes when I used to do public speaking बहुत पहले, I used to get nervous and I used to sweat and everything, and I used to I used to bring a separate shirt with me because pasina बहुत निकलता. Lekin afterwards I realized nobody actually cares. And that calms you down about your own life and what do you want to do. And you think about your life for you and not for somebody else, right? Because otherwise you're not really living. And who knows what can happen today, tomorrow, whatever. And if all you did was live for somebody else, what's the point? So nobody actually cares. You own your story, you direct your story, and you have to tell your own story. And everybody has a magical story.
If there's anything जो आपको लगता है हमने इस podcast में cover नहीं की, because it's been a very long podcast and there's not a lot of people जो अभी तक बैठे होंगे, but still if somebody is watching and there's something that you would like to add.
When you meet people, flip the iceberg. What attracts you to meet them is the PR, the flash, the glam, the headlines, the big statements. Flip it. Find out जो आपने पॉडकास्ट में किया है, जो आप पॉडकास्ट में बहुत अच्छी तरह करते हैं, what makes people tick? Why are they the way they are? That's where you get inspiration from, not from the headline, right? Ask them about their life, about their story, and share your own life and your own story. So when whoever you meet in the world, flip that iceberg and go deep. I want you to crack open that iceberg. And I want you to figure out, why is this person the way they are?
Yeah.
And the only other thing I would say is, don't wait for anybody to give you an opportunity. Make your own opportunity. And make your own path in life.
Yeah, I love that. यहाँ पे आए हैं तो कोई feedback भी दें हमें.
Yeah, man, I think honestly, I think I what I really like जो आपने बात की थी, that you're almost going after the 95% of the Pakistani market that doesn't listen to the English podcasts and the standard podcasts जो हम सुनते हैं, So that it's been very, I think doing this, trying to think about what's going to resonate with them has been very sort of reflective for me, because that's the people I want to actually engage with, but I think sometimes kabhi you feel in your own like loop of how can I resonate with this person? How they like, I'm so different, they're so different.
Yeah.
Hamari story alag hai, har cheez hamari alag hai. So that I really like that you guys do that for that piece. Yeah, and then I don't know. I think in the content wise, maybe because I'm in AI, I think perhaps sometimes I don't really care too much about if it takes over the world, because I think it's more, as humans, we have a lot to say in that still. If 7 billion people stop using it, it stops. If all the big companies and all the big governments suddenly decide we don't want to do this, it stops. But you can't, I try and sit every, don't think too much about like worst case scenario. You have to go with the flow.
Thank you very much for your time.
Nene, thank you. Really grateful to you guys. Nene, thank you all.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Pleasure meeting you, honestly. Thank you so much.
Hopefully,
Thank you.
Thank you.